How did ancient humans survive without doctors? Imagine this, 50,000 years ago. There were no hospitals, no doctors, no medicines, not even a single painkiller. So, what happened when someone got badly injured or caught a deadly disease? How did ancient humans survive without modern medicine? Let's find out. Picture yourself waking up in a world where there are no cities, no roads, no pharmacies, and no ambulances. You are surrounded by endless forests, vast grasslands, and dangerous predators. Every single day is a fight to stay alive. Now imagine you accidentally cut your leg with a sharp stone. Today, you would simply clean the wound, apply medicine, and maybe get a few stitches. But 50,000 years ago, none of that existed. A small cut could become infected. An infection could spread through your body. And something that seems harmless today could end your life. The truth is, ancient humans lived much closer to death than we do today. Every hunt, every journey, every climb could end in disaster. A broken bone, a snake bite, or even a simple tooth infection could be fatal. So why did humans survive at all? The answer is surprisingly fascinating. Ancient humans were not completely helpless. Over thousands of years, they learned something that became their greatest weapon, not technology, not medicine, but knowledge. They carefully watched the world around them. They noticed which plants eased pain, which leaves helped stop bleeding, which roots reduced fever, and which berries could kill within hours. Nature became their first hospital, experience became their first doctor, and survival became their greatest teacher. But even then, life was brutally difficult. Many people never reached adulthood. Children often died young, and a serious injury could mean the end. Yet somehow our ancestors survived. They adapted, they learned, and they passed that knowledge from one generation to the next. Without those lessons, you and I wouldn't be here today. But healing a wound was only one challenge. The real nightmare began when bones broke, or when someone could no longer walk. So, how did ancient humans treat broken bones without hospitals or doctors? Let's find out. Imagine this. You're out hunting with your tribe. Suddenly, a wild animal attacks you. You somehow manage to survive. But as you fall, your leg breaks badly. Today, an ambulance would rush you to a hospital. Doctors would take an X-ray, set the bone, and put your leg in a cast. But 50,000 years ago, none of that existed. No X-rays, no casts, no orthopedic surgeons. So, what did they do? First, their tribe would carry the injured person to a safe place, because being injured in the wilderness was almost a death sentence. Then they searched for straight, strong branches. They placed them on both sides of the broken bone. Then they tied everything together using animal tendons, tree bark, or tough vines. Today, we call this a splint. Surprisingly, this simple technique is still used in emergency situations all around the world. But holding the bone in place was only the beginning. The injured person had to stay still for weeks, sometimes even months. And that created a much bigger problem. If you couldn't hunt, who would bring your food? If you couldn't walk, who would protect you from hungry predators? This is where humans showed their greatest strength, teamwork. The entire tribe worked together to keep the injured person alive. Some gathered food, others brought water, and someone always stayed nearby to protect them. This was one of the biggest reasons humans survived, while many other species disappeared. Because humans didn't just survive as individuals, they survived as a community. And we have real evidence that this actually happened. Archaeologists have discovered ancient human skeletons with broken bones that healed completely. Some people lived for years after suffering serious injuries. That could only happen if others fed them, protected them, and cared for them every single day. But even after a broken bone healed, another danger still remained. In fact, it was even deadlier. A tiny infection, without antibiotics, a small wound could slowly spread through the entire body. And in the ancient world, infection was one of the deadliest silent killers. So, how did ancient humans fight infections without medicine or doctors? Let's find out.